Let's talk Tanya for the 30th of Tishrei of a leap year. In the Tanya of the past few days, the Alter Rebbe has explained that all of creation is a product of Hashem's speech. Now, we human beings, we have souls, and our souls contain within it the 10 attributes which mirror the 10 attributes of Hashem. So we have wisdom, understanding, knowledge, kindness, severity, etc. However, our source is Hashem's speech. But at the same time, Hashem's speech, its function is that it conveys to us also the higher attributes of God. Just like practically speaking, when I speak to you, I'm conveying to you my thoughts, my ideas, my feelings. The same thing is also through Hashem's speech, through the Shekhinah, through the Malchus, conveyed to us also are the higher aspects or attributes of Hashem. And then, when I have wisdom, that is connected to God's wisdom, because ultimately it is a product of God's wisdom as conveyed through the Shekhinah, as conveyed through God's speech. I have kindness, that is connected very much to God's kindness, because my kindness is an extension of, or a product of, God's kindness, but again, as conveyed through the Shekhinah, as conveyed through God's speech. So there's a special connection between every single one of our attributes and the corresponding attribute of God. In terms of our speech comes from God's speech directly. If my wisdom is connected to God's wisdom and my kindness is connected to God's kindness, my speech is most profoundly connected to God's speech, which is why when I speak, I have an impact on God's speech. More specifically, if I am going to study Torah or I'm going to daven, so we know that according to halacha, the rule is that it's not enough that I do it thinking. It's not enough that I think the words of Torah or that I think the words of davening, but in order for me to discharge my obligation, I have to actually articulate the words. And why is that? Because when I speak, I'm actually affecting something very profound above. And what is that? When I speak, I am connecting my thoughts, my feelings with my speech. And therefore, I have a corresponding effect above that I am connecting God's thoughts and feelings, which are the higher attributes, with God's speech. I am, so to say, closing the circuit and causing the flow of energy from the higher attributes into God's speech. And ultimately, that energy then translates and flows into all of creation, because God's speech is the source of all of creation. So when I'm davening, when I'm learning, I'm having a cosmic effect. I'm bringing a flow into God's speech. Now, this is the way it is by a Jewish person with a Jewish soul. How is it by the rest of the world? How does it work with non-Jews? That will be the topic, God willing, of tomorrow's Tanya.